Hello and welcome everybody to another installment of the TOX-6 show with me, Shannon. Guys, obviously this is brought to you once again by Golden Goal Media and it's an exclusive, guys. As always, let's not forget to hit the subscribe button, guys. I've got the analytics of my channel with me here, and it shows that 60% of you guys that view this content don't subscribe, guys. So remember, subscription is free. It costs you nothing to subscribe to the channel. If you want to get in touch with tonight's panel, please do leave your comments in the comment section, and we'll try get to all the comments that we can. As always, guys, I'm super excited to welcome a full panel tonight. I'm gonna obviously just welcome everybody as per usual. In the middle, next to me, there we've got Liam representing Man United once again. Obviously, a regular on the show already. There's Liam, and then we welcome a debutant in Donzi making his TOX-6 debut, repping Chelsea in the top right corner. And then we've got a full Chelsea contingent today, guys. It's blue is the color tonight. In the bottom left corner, we've got Godwin, guys, one of our regulars. Obviously, we all know repping Chelsea. And then once again, making his return to the podcast in the bottom right corner, we have Mr. Thane, who is obviously a Chelsea fan. So, as always, guys, get ready, get set, buckle in. We're going to have a great show. So, without further ado, I think it only makes sense that we start at the game of the weekend, even though it lacked goals, lacked much entertainment, and that is the game at Villa Park. And it looks like the United fan is already running away. Let's see if we can get Liam back to hear his takes on his team. But like I said, it was Aston Villa nil, Man United nil, and let me see if I can get Liam back. But for now, let's jump to Godwin. Godwin, obviously in the pre-match or the pre-match predictions that we made, you gave your prediction for a Villa win that didn't really come to pass. United coming off with a good point if we look at it in their context. What did you make of the game, and is there anything that surprised you that United did on Sunday?
What did I think of the game? In all fairness, I didn't watch the game. They played the exact same time as Chelsea, so I didn't have the opportunity to watch the full game. However, I did see the highlights, and it looked like Aston Villa had the better chances in that contest. Yeah, I know I went for an Aston Villa win. I'm pretty sure everyone went for an Aston Villa win. Um, yeah, I think Ten Hag with the points with the draw probably bide himself a little bit more time uh, with the inevitable, but I still think he's going to get sacked. And yeah, that's my take on the contest this evening. Yesterday.
No, 100%. Obviously, a lot of people still expecting Ten Hag sacking. I think it's been reported in the media that the United board had some crunch talks with him. I think it's scheduled for today or tomorrow. Let's bring in the Man United rep himself, Mr. Liam. Bro, obviously, you expected your team to lose actually over the weekend, but you guys came away with a point. Do you think it's a point that maybe bodes well going into the international break, or do you think, the writing's on the wall for Ten Hag still, and this point actually just is in context means nothing?
Evening, gents. Always a pleasure being here on the channel. Ten Hag, I think the writing's on the wall, man. I think it's a matter of hours now before we get that news from Manchester United. I know they're having a meeting on tomorrow. I think Joe Glazer is flying into Manchester tomorrow, so yeah, I think it's gonna be. I think they've called it a crisis meeting, and we know from the past once Joe Glazer flies into Manchester United, concerning these issues, we know what the inevitable is. Ten Hag will be sacked this week, I believe. But when it comes to that game, I wasn't impressed, man. I don't think that was a Villa team that came out guns blazing, and and I mean to struggle against them and still not score. You bring in a Zirkzee who you expect to bang in goals for you. Rasmus Hoyland is back from injury, but still, there's no goals. You take off Rashford. Rashford looked so upset when he was, taken off. And I just think this whole rotation thing is going against Ten Hag. He spoke about it again yesterday, and they asked him why is the Lucht and Martinez on the bench, and you bring in Johnny Evans and Maguire, and he speaks about rotation again. Previously on the chat, we spoke about this rotation thing. Why are we rotating? You only rotate if you're in a good position, if you're up there in the on the log standings, if you're doing well in Europe, sure, by all means, do the rotation. But also, Aston Villa is way ahead of Man United on the table. I think they're sixth or seventh on the table. How can you be doing rotations like this against them? Sure, they didn't score against us, but it could have been, we could have taken a beating, had Villa shown up yesterday.
No, 100. Sorry, guys. No, my mic just muted itself there. I'm just saying, in hindsight, looking at it, I know Ten Hag made some changes, but Johnny Evans, in my opinion, had a really good game. I think the changes he made didn't make you better offensively, but I think it definitely shored you guys up defensively. So you probably Ten Hag is probably looking at damage limitation. If he goes and they lose 3-4-0, you definitely like this. It's like you probably get sacked after the game tomorrow. But I think with a performance like that, yes, it wasn't anything glitzy and glamoury, but I think he can maybe argue his point and say, listen, you know what, we went to Villa Park. I'm still trying to find the best balance. And look, I know people will say that, and I think I'm one of them, will say, listen, you've had how many seasons now? How do you not still know like your style of play and your strongest 11 here and there about? But if you look at it, United have got, I mean, this season alone, it's two new players into the back line, which is a significant change. Another midfield change in the center there with Ugarte. You bring in Xerxes out front. So there are quite a few changes that I think Ten Hag has had to contend with. But I still think that the performances are not up to scratch, and I think ultimately that's what's going to be the negative for him. When he goes into those meetings with the Glazers and Ineos tomorrow, is that they're going to argue and say, listen, we've provided you with what you needed, but we still haven't seen the results. And the performances, I think that's mainly, it's like, results will come. You can be unlucky, but the performances are what you're going to get your results. And if your performances are not there, in my opinion, then I just think it's a bit tough. Donzi, let me actually bring it up to you, bro. We spoke yesterday or on Saturday about Villa, and I asked you, and I said, do we think this is what we'll see from Villa post Champions League? We saw it with Newcastle last season, gents. Let's be honest that Newcastle had the Champions League, and they were expected to do well, but the balance between Premier League games and Champions League games, I don't know if their squad is built for that. So, Donzi, bro, do you think that United could have capitalized, or maybe should have capitalized on a more, let's say, tired Villa, because Villa came off a big game in the week against Bayern Munich, which takes a lot out of the players physically and mentally. Or do you think United should be okay with this point, and Ten Hag can look to build on it from the after the international break?
Good evening, gents. Thank you guys for having me this evening, man. Bro, honestly, I don't know, man. It depends on how you want to look at this, bro. Like, if you're a United fan, realistically, are you gonna look at the points and think, okay, we can build on this point, or are you gonna be frustrated with that and be like, yo, like this? Realistically, that was your time to take Villa and take 3 points, bro. Like Villa, obviously, I didn't watch the game. I was at the bridge, but Villa, bro. Like, if they're not scoring, if John Duran is not hitting the back of the net, bro, you need to get 3 points from that game. Like, bro. Anyway, my whole thing is United need to make a decision at this point, bro, because like, is it enough? No, I don't think it's enough. But ultimately, you need to just sit back and realize that he's not it. Like, you can see, bro, like you had to capitalize from that game and United couldn't, bro. So I think Ten Hag needs to go, honestly. It's just what I feel like, bro.
100%. Maybe bring in Tain there. Tain, obviously, bro, I'm not sure if you watched the game. I know Chelsea and United are playing at the same time, but obviously, just based off the result and the form that United had going in, like I'm asking everybody, do you think that maybe we over analyzing this result? And a point away from Villa, guys, at the end of the day, is a good point. Any of us at like you take a point at Villa any day. So is it looked at a bit worse now because United are not performing well, or can you still see that? Listen, like I said, a point is a point, and it's better than none.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Shannon, and good evening to the gents. Look, Villa just beat Bayern Munich. I think that they should have actually won this game. Playing at home, they've got all that. Like, okay, you say that players do get tired, but when you're playing at the highest level, there's no, like, how could I say it? Like, there's no room for error. And I think Aston Villa should have won. I mean, United had good chances. There was a 2-on-1 that Garnacho and Bruno had. I think they should have scored there. Um, but all in all, the football is boring. United's football is boring, unfortunately. I mean, it's their worst start in the league in how long? I mean, in ever, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I think last time I spoke to you, I felt that I said that Eric Ten Hag should have a few more games, but at this point, I don't know now. It's hard to back the guy. It's hard to back him.
No, 100%. And look, I think where United are currently, it's like I said, it's such a predicament because it's early enough in the season to make a change and possibly still have a good season. But at the same time, it's like, do you want to rip this entire project apart? Where it's like you've just given the manager the players that he wants, and now yes, the results are not ideally going the way you want to, but it's still only game week 7, and now you rip it apart. Do you think that maybe leaves room for maybe United even have a worse season? Or do you think that there was a strategic move in bringing in Ruud van Nistelrooy, bringing all these Dutch-based players, and maybe that United were always seeing it as, we're going to give Ten Hag first 10 games. If he's underperforming, we let him go, and we know Ruud is basically the understudy at the moment. Maybe let me pose that question to Liam, obviously, being the United fan. Liam, do you think, like I said, United are currently playing a chess game here, maybe where we don't see that, like I said, Ten Hag goes out during this international break. Ruud comes in and then takes over the next couple of games, or do you think Ten Hag? It's a bit of a sticky situation to sack him at the moment.
Um, to be honest, I don't think they planned for the season to go wrong. I think at the end of last season they were like, okay, look, let's give this guy another season. Maybe last season we were hit with so many injuries, so let's give him a chance with the fresh budget. He brings in his players. They made an overhaul to the backroom staff. Van Nistelrooy came in, Benny and I forgot his assistant from last season. They were out, but I don't think the plan was to bring in Van Nistelrooy to replace Ten Hag. I just think they gave him an opportunity, and also remember, once you sack a manager, you have to pay them. So I think last season they would have paid like about 10 million, to Ten Hag had they sacked him. And I think that's gone up to 17, if I'm not mistaken. There was an article I read by Cole. So I don't think the plan was to sack him. And also you look at the team that United got, the Ineos put together. They call them the Avengers. So I think maybe they hesitant to make that call because they're just assembled like this season. So I don't think they really had time to work on this. But I mean, it looks like there's panic now around United, and you can see the backroom stuff. You can see Ruud van Nistelrooy is arguing with Ten Hag on the bench. Rashford is saying whatever he wants to say. So clearly, there's no respect for this manager. Benny came out and said this guy lacks passion. Yes, tactically he's astute, but he lacks the passion, and that's not translated. The players don't know what are we playing like. What's the identity? How do you want to play? Because every game it's a new thing. It's rotation. It's half of the time I don't understand what this coach is saying, and if I don't understand, imagine the players. So I don't know. I think this week we'll see Ten Hag out, and I just think it will be like Ruud will take over for a few games. And like I said the last time, he'll take over a few games, win a few, and then they'll make that call. Okay, let's give him the job. But next season, he's still going to be faced with the same issues. So I really, I don't know. But I don't think they brought in Ruud as as a strategy for him to take over.
No, look, 100%. And I actually want to bring in X here. X, obviously, you're joining in at the perfect time. We're just discussing, whether Ten Hag goes and Van Nistelrooy comes in, or the United just stick out with him a bit longer. Just before I get your opinion, X, I'm looking at some of the comments that we have here, and we've got one here from Regan that says, "I don't think he will be sacked this week. The objectives at board level is more long term." Omar Barada came out saying that the target is to win the league in 2028. X, just to this point here about winning the league in 2028. Do you think that if United stick with Ten Hag, that this objective of winning the league in 2028 gets pushed back by more years? Or do you think, Ten Hag, given a bit more time, can change things around, and maybe we can see United push up the table in the next coming games and next coming seasons.
How's it, gents? Yes, to be honest with you, bro, making Ten Hag to stay longer, we might not even win it in 2028. So I think the quicker we sack him, probably we might challenge for the league in 2026, 2027 if we bring in Fanisero, of course. But yeah, sticking with Ten Hag for longer, we're not gonna win it in the next 5 to 10 years, to be honest. We're just pushing it back and back and back and back.
No, 100%. And then obviously, Godwin, I just want to bring it to you, bro. We're looking at some of the comments here. A lot of guys saying, that they want Ten Hag gone. Here's Regan saying, personally that he wants him gone. Dane, who's obviously an Arsenal fan, is saying that the FA Cup that United won under Ten Hag, just papered over the cracks. And we obviously seeing that now. This is almost like a season and a bit of really poor performances. Not even, let's be honest, guys. United, after they won the Carabao Cup in his first season, declined in the league. They kept on declining till this point. So Gordon, obviously, Ten Hag keeps saying that they've won trophies. They're the second most successful club since he's in England since he's been there. In terms in England, do you think that like it's saying in the comments here that this is purely just papering over the cracks? And you know what? Let's make the call. I know you're a Chelsea fan, but as United, let's make the call. Let's save our season and let's just get rid of this manager that seems to really lack the personality to manage a team like Manchester United.
1,000,000%. I feel like winning those trophies are papering over the cracks. Look, as a Chelsea fan, I've been following Chelsea for a very long time, and both seasons when we won the Champions League, I can tell you that we weren't good in the league. So just because you win cups, it's not a metric to see how good your team is. We measure how good our team is by league, by where we are in the league. Bro, we've seen teams win Champions League, finishing sixth. We've seen strange things. So yes, the question that you did ask, him winning the Carabao Cup, I think in his first season was good. Also winning the FA Cup last season, good. But however, it did paper over a lot of cracks. They do this thing whereby they only perform when they are under immense pressure. Man United. Remember when I think they beat Liverpool to get to was it the quarterfinal? No, yes, it was the quarterfinal of the FA Cup last season. No one expected them to win that game.
Yeah, you're right.
Last season. So when those boys are under pressure, then that's when they perform. But it seems like their luck has run out because they've been under pressure this season and nothing's going for them. So, yeah.
No, 100%. And obviously, let me just jump quickly to Thane. Thane, we've got a comment here from Jermaine that says Erik ten Hag deserves time at United. His win percentage is more impressive than Fergie's early years, and he's already brought in trophies. Besides, Pep is arguably the most successful manager currently. And look, it's hard to argue with the facts of it, but at the same time, like my eyes don't lie to me. I think all of us can sit here and say, regardless of the trophies that ten Hag has won, and win percentages aside, the football is terrible. Again, I think that's what I think maybe a lot of fans might be missing is that I think the Ten Hag out movement, from what I've seen, is not necessarily about the lack of success. It's about the lack of identity and the lack of structure that United are currently experiencing. This is probably United at their worst, generally speaking, guys. Like under Mourinho, you knew what kind of United you kind of were getting. Under Van Gaal, you knew what kind of United you were getting. And so, Ten, obviously, just bring it up to you, bro. Do you agree with these sentiments from Jermaine that says, Ten Hag, according to the stats, should be kept on, or do you think, listen, the eye test tells you all you need to know?
Ish, man, I think the eyes don't lie. It's his third season. United have been a team to compete for the likes of a Champions League, compete for the league. They've arguably been one of the best. They've been the best team in England for a long time, and to see them like this now, yeah, it's not a good sign. And yeah, Erik ten Hag, in my personal opinion, I think he should go now because he has not done anything in the last 3 seasons. I mean, the Carabao Cup year, FA Cup year, it's just, yeah, I mean, it's just literally putting a plaster over a flipping crack on a glass. It doesn't fix it,
Mm. No, 100%. Just quickly, guys, before we move on to the next topic, just even as a show of hands, who thinks Ten Hag is going to be sacked by the next time we've got Premier League football? Just a show of hands, who thinks Ten Hag is going to be out? Let's just see what the consensus is here on the panel.
Yo, Shan, can I just say something?
Sure, Liam, go for it.
Just going back to what the gents were just talking
Can
about
you hear me,
now,
bro?
putting past yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I was
Sorry, mate.
just
Just
saying,
slightly delayed.
going back to the point the gents were speaking about now about putting plasters over a crack with regards to the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. I think it was Term Sherwood who said yesterday after the game that we must remember that when we won the Carabao Cup, we played Newcastle, né? And I think they were hit with so many injuries. And last season, Manchester City, they just came, on the back of winning the league again. So they were fatigued. They were probably, still drunk. That's not something to really, to celebrate and use as a metric, as Gordon was saying earlier on. But I honestly, man, we talk about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think United need to be consistent. If they're going to sack someone like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for his, for that last season, then they have to be consistent with Ten Hag. Also, this is the worst start ever to a season, for Man United. Last season, he finished 8th. That was the worst finish in the Premier League ever by Manchester United. Look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. His first season, he finished 3rd. Second season, finished 2nd. And in his 3rd season, I think that's when he got sacked. They finished 6th, but they got sacked during that season. So I think they need to be consistent and let this guy go then. I mean, you can't finish 3rd and then finish 8th. Just doesn't make sense for me. So I'm gonna put up my hand and
be in
say
this
I
position
want
now.
him out. Yeah.
No,
I think
100%,
Shannon
Jen.
asked.
So look, I think we've covered the United topic quite well. I think the consensus. Sorry, Gordon. Yes, bro. What's up?
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I think Shannon didn't ask if you want him out, but who thinks he's going to be out, right? Did you say we must show of hands as to who thinks he's going to be
Yeah,
out?
who do you think? If you think, if you think, he's going to be
Yeah, no,
out by the next
I don't think
round of
I
fixtures,
don't think he's getting fired anytime
just
soon.
raise your hands.
I don't think he's getting fired. If he would have been fired, if he was going to get sacked, he was going to get sacked like
Interesting.
after the Tottenham game, in my opinion.
He's getting sacked.
Look, guys, like I said, I think any more comments on United and Ten Hag, please let us know in the comment section. If you think Ten Hag will make it through the international break, leave a comment. If you don't, you think he's going to get sacked, also leave a comment there. Next, we're going to move over to the blue side of London, which our panel makes the majority of tonight. And that's obviously Stamford Bridge. Chelsea won, Nottingham Forest won. And I think no better person to go to than to Donzi, who was actually at the game at Stamford Bridge on Sunday, sorry. Donzi, bro, just want to hear from you. What is the atmosphere like in Stamford Bridge so far this season? Good football currently. Not the greatest result, but what did you make of the atmosphere at Stamford Bridge, and what did you make of Chelsea's performance?
Bro, to be honest with you, bro, Stamford Bridge hasn't been Stamford Bridge for I can't remember how many seasons. Like, bro, the crowd isn't rocking the way it should be rocking. Like, obviously, look, I understand, we have a new manager, we're still getting used to the way of it, like the way he plays and stuff like that. I understand that. But like, bro, we need to be getting behind the manager like more than ever now, because if anything, bro, this is the most crucial time for him, bro. It's his first season with us, like, and I'm trying to get to grips with the fact that Chelsea fans are still thinking that we challenging for the league. Like, we're not challenging for the league. Like, we challenging for top 4. Because if we're being realistic, bro, even Enzo Maresca said it in his press conference, we're challenging for top 4. So it's like, we need to understand that we're not exactly where we used to be in terms of finishing second and stuff like that under Tuchel. It happens. But, bro, anyway, as far as the game goes, frustrating results, especially given the form that we were on. a bit of a weird one. We know how we play against low blocks. Not very well, especially last season. Especially going a goal down. Last season, if this happened last season, we wouldn't have won that game. Let alone we wouldn't even have got a draw. Like, we would have lost that game. So to see us coming back and getting a point at least, and keeping the streak going a little bit, it's a good thing to see. And yeah, for sure, I'm quite irritated with the result, but is what it is. We move.
No, 100%. I think, like I've said all the season, and you probably can see on all the previous podcasts, is that I've been very impressed with Chelsea. I've actually, and I'm an Arsenal fan, I've always seen the vision with this Chelsea project. It was, and I'll be honest with you, it's like the Arsenal project just times three. Like in terms of the speed and the idea behind it, it's getting young, good players in, young manager, getting them playing well. And that's why Chelsea have put their players on these long contracts, in my opinion, is obviously to try and have some sort of sustainability. That's why they can purchase them now, keep them on long contracts. And look, I think this season we started to see Chelsea perform at a really good level. They've had some really good results, and they remind me of Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp, where they would score a lot, but they would always be susceptible to conceding. And I think that's what kind of makes me not think Chelsea can win the league. Not because of the attacking quality. The attacking quality is probably up there with Man City's. It's defensively, I think Chelsea are going to let themselves a bit short. Thane, obviously, bro, frustrating result for Chelsea on Sunday. Nottingham Forest have shown themselves to be quite sturdy this season. Picking up 3 points at Anfield, now picking up a point at Stamford Bridge. In the context of the game, looking at some of the chances that Forest also had, do you think a point is fair, or do you think Chelsea should have still had more than enough in the tank to get this victory over the line?
Look, I mean, it wasn't the result that we wanted. Um, I think we could have actually won the game. I mean, there were a few chances from Madueke, but also he's also a very selfish player sometimes. He doesn't pass, he doesn't look up. So there were opportunities where I felt Chelsea could have actually won the game. Enzo Fernandez also, dude, he looked so slow. Second half, the guy looked like he needed a stretcher. So yeah, in all fairness, I mean the score was fair, but we should have won. We should have come out on top, honestly.
100%. And I think I know I watched. I was like bouncing between the games, between the City, I mean, not City, the Chelsea and Forest game, and United and Villa. There was Forest had some good chances. Like, just Forest had some really good chances, but so did Chelsea. Even Kunku in the last minute there puts that header either a bit more wider of the keeper or into the ground. It bounced into the ground, it goes in, and I think that's where Chelsea, I think, are still maybe yet to like be a title contenders. That there's just those little moments that they still don't have. Whether it's in defense, whether it's in attack. For example, City have
I was
Haaland. You know, look, Cole Palmer,
exactly.
fantastic play, guys. We're not even gonna go into that debate. Whether he's a top class player, but ultimately he can't do it by himself. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna need guys like
Exactly.
Nkunku to excuse me, to finish their dinner. You know what I'm saying? Where Liverpool, if you look at it on the weekend, Salah doesn't score, but Jota gets a very important goal, plays really well. So I think Chelsea, it's also like it's their first season. Only 7 games in. You know what? Let's see how it goes. I think there are still ups and downs to be had. Which is expected. But I think Chelsea are on the right trajectory, and I think I'm obviously gonna bring you to Gordon, and I want to ask him about Madueke, because he actually called me like a week before last, where he was complaining, saying Madueke, she's like, Shannon, bro, this guy just doesn't pass the ball, bro. Like it's just like the basic thing, where the better option is to pass, and he's going for a shot and he's showing his greed. Do you think, and this is from what I watched, I think that on the right hand side, Pedro Neto offers you way more. I think Pedro Neto is much better for Chelsea on that right wing than Madueke, in my opinion. So Godwin, do you think that there's something that Madueke can get out of his system, or do you think that ultimately might be his downfall, and he might end up losing his spot in the team to Pedro Neto because of maybe his selfishness, or lack of team play, should I rather say?
Look, yesterday, in all fairness, I felt like he wasn't that selfish yesterday. He did actually pass. He shot all the shots he was taking. It was because he had to take those shots. Like he had no other option but to shoot. So yesterday, I don't really have too much to complain about. He even scored yesterday, so fair play to him. Um, but I think he gives us a bit more than Neto. Neto hasn't really shown me that much as to what he can offer the team, apart from pace. He's one of those players where you bring on, with 20 minutes to go, 15 minutes to go, to try and impact the game if maybe we're drawing or if we're losing. But to speak about Chelsea's results, I did tell you guys that it was too early to say that Chelsea were improving. Yes, we like what we're seeing this season. We've been playing well, we've been scoring goals, but I told you guys it was against these teams. I think it's Danzy who said we struggle to play against teams who implement that low block. Crystal Palace at Stamford Bridge, now Nottingham Forest. These are 4 points dropped from a possible 6. I mean, we're not expecting us to win the title, but I mean, if we get 4 points from those possible 6, I mean, we're right up there. So, very frustrating game yesterday at Stamford Bridge. Very, very frustrating. And we actually could have lost it towards the end. We could have lost the game, but Robert Sanchez.
Last season, we would have lost this game. This time last season, we would have lost.
This time last season, we would have lost the game.
When you say you don't see improvement, we've improved, definitely. The Crystal Palace game draw, we've improved. We would have lost that last season, especially with Olise and so on and so forth.
No. I'm talking about when I say improve, like, yes, as a whole, we've improved, but I felt like it's too early to judge us. The improvement is there, yes, but we should be winning games like the Palaces, the Forests, games like that. We should be winning. And it just seems that we're struggling a little bit at home. I don't know if maybe we thrive away from home because the guys are under a little bit more pressure and stuff. So, look, that's just my take on it. But the next 4, someone in the comments said the next 4 games are going to be very interesting.
No, 100%.
If we beat,
we got Liverpool next.
Yeah, look,
Liverpool,
I think if you look at Chelsea's next set of fixtures, I think they've got Liverpool, I think they've got Arsenal there as well. I think in those 4, I think I'm not too 100% sure, but I think, like I said, we see I think like Newcastle, Liverpool, we'll see what Chelsea are made of over the next couple of games. Same way with Liverpool. X, I just want to bring you in quickly. How impressed have you been with Chelsea's start so far this season? And do you think that a top 4 place is definitely on the card for them, or do you think maybe they can aim a bit higher and go for the title?
Like I said last week, Shen, they quite surprised me. Yeah, when it comes to Chelsea, yeah, I didn't have any hope for them, but they did surprise me. Definitely they will compete for the top 4. I don't see them competing for the title, but definitely they will compete for that top 4. And when they go to the UEFA Champions League, it seems like something switches on, because they they don't perform well in the league, but when they are in that Champions League spot, they become a different breed. So most definitely they will be on that top 4.
100%. So X is obviously saying that Chelsea can definitely push for the top 4, and I think the Chelsea consensus here will agree. Liam, just quickly, bro, how impressed have you been though with Nottingham Forest? Going away to Anfield, picking up 3 points, picking up a point away at Stamford Bridge. Is this something that maybe other teams can take from them when it comes to playing at these grounds, or do you think this is just a system that Nuno Espirito Santos has just gotten his team like very well gelled, very well oiled, a very workman-like team? How impressed have you been with Forest?
Sorry, can you just repeat that last part, Shannon? You keep breaking up.
Sorry, guys, man. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's wrong with my connection. What I was basically saying was, obviously Forest, like I said, have picked up 3 points at Anfield. They've picked up 1 point at Stamford Bridge. Just in general, how impressed have you been with their start to the season? They're the second best defensive side this season. Do you think there's something that a lot of teams can learn from their performances, or do you think, this is just something that their coach is getting right? Am I cut off again, gents? Is it slow?
Yeah, no, I lost you again. I think I got what you said. With Nottingham Forest, look, I haven't been following them that much this season. All I know is that game against Chelsea and the game against Liverpool. And I think I'm impressed with them. I think defensively they've been good, and yeah, to come away with 3 points, against Liverpool and a point against Chelsea. But I think, I just wanted to speak about Chelsea also, man. On the chat we spoke about, I think it was a few shows ago, we spoke about Chelsea being that dark horse this season. And I still think they can be, but not for the title. I think they will make that top four or top five at least. I think they just need to fine tune their performances at home. They haven't lost on the road yet this season, and away from home they're winning by big margins. They beat West Ham 3-0 in their last away trip. So I think they just need to build on that form at home. And yeah, I mean, I think with Nottingham Forest game yesterday, quite a tough one. Maybe the pressure at home is there because they are trying to obviously come back the Chelsea that we know. But as far as Nottingham Forest is concerned, I haven't been following much of them this season. Besides, what is impressive in 7 games, getting 3 points against Liverpool and a point against Chelsea. I think the likes of United and the other big six teams, should be looking at them and be like, yo, we need to plan ahead for them.
No, 100%, 100%. I think, in terms of Chelsea, I think it'll be very interesting to see how they get on this season. I'm definitely expecting a top four finish for Chelsea. I think they've got enough quality in both, or in all areas actually. Midfield, they're quite stacked, defense, and also in attack. Obviously, guys, so that's Chelsea. Let us know in the comment section. Do you think Chelsea still have the ability to be the dark horses in the title race, or do you think what, Chelsea should just aim for a consolidating top four finish, which will be a perfect start to life in the Premier League for Enzo Maresca? Moving along swiftly, and we then take it to another part of London. It's the white side of North London yesterday. And I think, if you didn't watch that game, you missed out on a classic because, looking at it, Spurs going up 2-0, dominating that first half, should probably have a lot more goals. And I think Spurs tend to leave a lot of goals on the field. And then second half comes along, 25 minutes, they find themselves 3-2 down, and then Brighton steal the points. So obviously, guys, we've obviously got no Spurs rep here, but let me bring it on to Donzi. I saw him shaking his head there. Donzi, obviously, we're seeing Spurs throw away yet another lead under Ange Postecoglou, and you know Ange seems to be very much stuck in his ways. Do you think that he needs to show some sort of how do I call it, what's the word I'm looking for, diversity in his play, or do you know what? Do you think that he needs to continue sticking with his guns and it'll eventually pay dividends?
Hey, Shannon, if I say that I want him to, be a bit more pragmatic and stuff, then they might see more results. So saying I want them to do that is, I'd be lying. You know what I mean? I want Spurs to keep being Spurs. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, but anyway, bro. So with Spurs, I think, yeah, he's so stubborn. Honestly, like this guy's been stubborn from the time that we beat them 4-1 at home, and he didn't when he was playing the high line, and he didn't want to change after we were scoring. So honestly, like I think it's just like I don't know where to from here, bro. Like Spurs, they'll go from winning one game to losing the next, like dramatically. Like you can't like say for sure what they're gonna do. So it's a thing where he does need to be a bit more pragmatic, and he does need to be a bit more open to changing it up if it's not going his way. Like I think I saw a stat with Brighton, and it's like I think every single game that they went 2-0 down, it's been like 76 games, and they've lost 72 of them and drawn one. So I think it's something like something like that. So Spurs was the second game that they were 2-0 down and came back for 3-2. So think about that, like Spurs being Spurs at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. I think that, yeah, and I think that probably frustrated a lot of Tottenham fans, and we will definitely have a Spurs guy joining us on one of the next podcasts. I've managed to find someone that's willing to rep them, so I'm keen for that, just to mix up the panel a bit. But let me take it to Godwin. Obviously, Godwin, bro, I think you predicted a Spurs victory, if I'm not mistaken, over the last panel. I mean, over the last podcast we had, and I think rightfully so. And looking at it, Spurs should have won that game. You know, I don't know why Ange feels like he can't take a 2-0 lead. And Ateta was like hated on for this, where you're trying to secure a result by maybe taking your foot off the gas a bit and just shoring it up. This is
Mm.
Spurs. We've seen them lose multiple leads. We see them concede multiple goals a game. Do you think that this is going to be something that ultimately might get Ange the sack? Because you know what, you can't throw away games like this, guys. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I know the Spurs should have been out of sight. And like I'm asking my question to you, Gordon, is do you think that if Ange does not fix this problem soon, he might find himself against better opposition getting punished more often, and that eventually putting his job at jeopardy?
Dunzy hit the nail on the head. This guy said Ange is too stubborn. The guy is way too stubborn. When we crushed them 4-1 at White Hart Lane last season, the guy refused to change his tactics. He was still playing a high line with 9 men. Do you honestly think this guy is going to change his tactics? No.
You got praise for
I
that.
mean, he does like look at yesterday, guys. You don't go 2-0 up in the Premier League and throw it away, bro. Especially to a team. I don't care what team you're playing. You don't concede 3 goals. Is it what? I think they conceded 3 goals in the second half. So, and it just seems that Brighton have Spurs' number. Even last season, Brighton beat Spurs 4-2 at the AMEX. So it just seems that Brighton have Spurs' number. But regarding Ange Poster, what he needs to honestly take a look at himself and alter his tactics a bit, and he needs to tell his boys to do something different, because that shit is not going to fly in the Premier League of this kamikaze football, bro. And now look what you done yesterday.
And I mean, looking at Spurs, I mean, Spurs have been in some brilliant form, recently. Last since the North London derby, I think they've won like 5 in a row. Brennan Johnson, who's been in insane form, a very underrated player in my opinion. I think fans forget how he's also still a young player, but sometimes fans expect certain things from certain players that they're just not capable of doing. But I think Brennan Johnson gives you sort of versatility across the front line, good finisher. Um, I want to bring it over to Thane. Thane, obviously, bro, being a rival, a London rival of Spurs, seeing Spurs throw away another lead, and like the guys have mentioned here, that Ange just doesn't seem to learn his lesson. Were you actually surprised that Spurs actually, are we surprised that Spurs let go of a 2-0 lead? Is this not like the most Spurs thing to happen, but also the most Spurs thing to happen under Postecoglou? Or do you think, what, maybe it's a once off. Maybe Postecoglou can change it up, or like we're saying, this is just Spurs. This is what they do. They win well and they also lose well.
Well, I think all the gents have they've already covered everything. I mean, it was a real Spursy performance, if you ask me, bro. Like, there was, like, you can't expect anything else than that. I mean, you like Godwin said, you can't play the high line every game and expect to win. Like, it seems like the lesson's never getting learned over there. And look, Madison was good. I saw a bit of the game. Madison was brilliant, but I mean, there's 11 players on the team. It's not just him. So, yeah, and it seems like no Son, no party, yeah. But all in all, I'm very happy to see Spurs losing. So I hope they keep it up.
Like I think as Arsenal and Chelsea fans, I think we can equally unite in our hate for Spurs. I know we don't like each other, but Spurs is always like that kid that you're like, hey, at least he's still he's still losing. As bad as it can be for you, it's never as bad as it is for Spurs. You know what I'm saying? Like Chelsea were bad, but
Agree.
still, still beat Spurs last
Agree.
season. Look, I don't think there's much for us to really speak about on the Spurs topic a bit more, because obviously we got no Spurs refs. I want to move it along quickly, obviously for time as well. Looking at the 3 title contenders that I would call them this season, and let's be honest, those are probably the 3 teams that we all think will win the league. I'm talking Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man City. I'm going to start with the early kickoff of the weekend, and that was the Liverpool game. Liverpool, obviously, guys, we saw them get a 1-0 win against Palace, and I want to actually bring it to the panel and just ask your opinions on something. I don't know if any of you saw it, and I'm gonna take it to X. X, I hope you've seen the footage of Van Dijk pulling back Mark Guy. If you haven't, bro, no problem. Um, but I just wanna, yeah, if you've seen the footage, guys, like that was a penalty. Palace should have had a penalty, and no one is talking about it enough. We're not hearing any noise about Palace potentially getting a penalty. So, X, I just want to ask you, bro. Do you think that Liverpool were lucky to get away with one, or do you think Liverpool still had the best chances and they deserve their 3 points?
To say about it, because yeah, I didn't watch that game.
Okay, no problem, X, no problem, bro. So we go to Gordon. Gordon, I seem like you had quite an opinion there. Do you think that we should have seen a penalty for Palace? I think that was one of the most clear pulls on a player that you're going to see this
Yeah,
season. And we once again seeing the inconsistencies of the referees. That the decisions that they're just not giving the decision that they should be giving. And do you think Palace should rightfully feel hard done by?
very much so. That was a stonewall penalty, in my opinion. Um, the first half was all Liverpool, but the second half was a little bit more balanced. But no, that was a stonewall penalty. There were actually two decisions that were scandalous this weekend. There was that one and the Everton and Newcastle game on Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and I don't know if any of you guys saw that one. That one was the biggest penalty I've ever seen. I have no idea how on earth that was not given in today's day and age. But yeah, no, I think Palace were robbed in that one. Definite penalty.
No, 100%.
Definite penalty.
I think so too. I want to bring it over to Liam. Liam, bro, obviously this might pain you to have to agree with as a Liverpool. I mean, as United fan, but Liverpool 7 games, 6 wins, 1 defeat. I think they've got the least goals conceded this season. How impressed have you been with Arne Slot's Liverpool? Or do you think what? It's still too early in the season. They've played teams that they expected to beat, or you can only beat who's in front of you.
No, 100%. You can only beat who's in front of you, and I think Arne's not started like a house on fire. I think we all didn't expect. Let's be honest, gents. No one expected him to start this well after replacing a manager who, some would say was successful at Liverpool. Others would say he just won one league title, but I think he, Jurgen Klopp transformed that Liverpool team, and to come in as a new manager to win the what do you call this, the dressing room, I think is done extremely well. I mean, after that Nottingham Forest defeat, I think they've gone 6 games now in all competitions, undefeated, and it's not like they're just winning every game 1-0. They're not grinding out results. They're actually putting up good performances, and that speaks to the manager. That speaks to the identity that Ten Hag lacks. That's what we say. That's what we're talking about when we say this guy has no identity, has no style of play, he's lost. So I think with Slot, he comes in there, and I'm very impressed with Liverpool. Remember a few weeks ago, I think it was last week or the week before, or could have been the first episode, Shannon, I said, come the end of the season, I feel it's going to be Liverpool and City again, going for that 1 and 2 spot. So I just think it's parity restored, if I can put it that way.
No, 100%. And I think it'll be foolish of anyone to not give Liverpool the respect that they currently deserve. I think I've been very impressed. I think we speak about it almost every podcast, is that we say that they're no longer heavy metal football. They a lot more controlled, a lot more calculated, and Slot's got them playing really good football. They look really dominant. Their squad is looking fit. They're looking like they can rotate as well. Thane, obviously that's you guys and them next game week at Anfield. Do you think that this Liverpool side is something to be feared, or do you think what we still haven't seen them play anyone of significance, and once they come across like a quality opponent like Chelsea, maybe they get found out, or do you think what they might still have enough to get the job done?
Look, I agree with you when you say that you'd be foolish to not give Liverpool the credit they deserve. They have been playing very well. And also for Chelsea, I feel that like this is an opportunity for us to like bounce back and show that we can compete for the top 4 spot. Because if we're not going to be playing well against the likes of Liverpool and Arsenal, City, then the low blocks. Yeah, I mean, we expected to win against them, but it's the Premier League. Anything can happen. So yeah, I think this Liverpool team they're looking scary, but I think for Chelsea, this is an opportunity for us to also show that we are we are here to compete as well for top four. So it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game, but hey, we'll see what happens.
No,
Can
Alice.
can I ask a can I ask a question to you guys real quick? If Chelsea beat Liverpool,
Sure.
would you guys consider them as genuine title contenders?
Ah, that's a
It's still it's still early as well. That's the thing.
Yeah,
But
you have to beat Arsenal.
we got to show up in these games. We have to show up.
I think if we beat Arsenal and Liverpool, then we can be title contenders.
No, I'm kidding. Listen,
Convincingly. Because I think I wouldn't be surprised if like we touch Liverpool like maybe 3-1. I'm just I don't
Oh,
know. I have a funny feeling.
No, Allison, by the way.
No, yeah, no Ellison. So I just wanted to ask that question out there, guys. Shannon, please continue with your show.
Listen, I do think listen, if you beat Chelsea, I mean, listen, if you beat Liverpool, if you beat City, if you beat Arsenal, we're gonna have to take you seriously. I don't know if you I don't know if you say title contenders just yet, but I do think that Chelsea will be definitely taken more seriously. I think a title challenge, regardless of whether you beat Liverpool, you're still gonna need to put up performances over the course of the season. If this is come January and Chelsea are within touching distance, and then maybe we can say it. I just think for now, the wins that you like against Liverpool, it should just be more of a confidence booster and something, and just a more of a like an assurance to show that you're going in the right direction. I don't think it should add any more pressure onto Chelsea because ultimately, I'm not saying don't go for the title, but no one's thinking that you should go for the title, in my opinion. Um, I think we got a comment here from Joey that says, I also think that's what Slot has done is given players confidence where they are comfortable receiving the ball in tight places. With Klopp, it was always let's look for Salah. Now it's more of a team. And I think before we move on, I think no player highlights that more in my opinion, guys. And I think he's been one of the best players this season is Ryan Gravenberch. Moved into that deeper number 6 position, looking like he's been playing there for years, looking like that's the player that Liverpool were looking for the whole window and they had him this whole time. Um, Donzi, bro, obviously, I know you watch a lot of football, bro. Just your thoughts on Ryan Gravenberch so far this season, bro, and obviously taking up that number 6 position. How impressive you been with these performances so far there?
Hey, Jens is bossing the midfield, honestly, game in, game out. Liverpool's problem last season, obviously, with the likes of not even last season when Fabinho left, obviously a lot of dead like a very essential player for Liverpool, when they were doing well. They had Endo in, that didn't really solve the problem. It was kind of like they kind of tried to make him a player that he wasn't. He was out at right back. He was playing all sorts of positions, but they never really had a good 6 that they could rely on, since Fabinho left. Then you said it yourself, they had him the whole time, and honestly, he's bossing it, bro. Like, I didn't think that he would be this good. And honestly, the Dutch connection I'm seeing in Liverpool right now, it's kind of crazy. Like the Gakpo, the Gravenberch, you know what I'm saying? The Van Dijk, they're cooking something. I don't know. They're cooking something. But yeah, he's been outstanding this season, man, for sure.
100%. We've got Joey Yo, who's a Liverpool fan, saying Gravenberch has been my player of the season thus far in the Premier League. New position and seems like he has been playing it for years. And you know what? Whether we can all just like have our differences who we think can play of the season so far, obviously. But I do think for me, Gravenberch has been one of the shining lights of the season. A player that had a very tough start to his life at Liverpool and suddenly new lease of life under a new manager, Dutch player, Dutch manager. It just shows you what again. This is what Ten Hag is missing is that just the environment for the players setting. That's what I think again. United fans are craving. It's like how can Slot, how can Maresca, guys come in this summer look so much better and so much further ahead of what United are, given that United have spent close to 600 million, have had the same manager for a couple of years. This manager's brought in players that he's wanted, that he knows, that he's coached personally. I just think I get the frustration when it comes from United fans with their team, and obviously I think looking at Liverpool, I think they're going to be an exciting team. I think over the next 10 games, we'll see what they're made of. I think Liverpool play Madrid, they play City, they play Chelsea, they play Arsenal, Leverkusen, Leipzig. I think they play Everton, they play Brighton twice. They've got a crazy, crazy fixture schedule. And I think if they can win 7 of those 10 games, then I think, you have to look at Liverpool as serious contenders for the Champions League and the league. But moving along, guys, and we're going to move it over to the champions and we're going to move it over to Man City, who Came back from 1-0 down against Fulham. In my opinion, probably should have lost that game if Adrama Traore had anything about him. Like if he had any sort of finishing ability, we're speaking about a different game here. But ultimately, Kovacic with the double, ex blue. Doku with probably the goal of the weekend. Let me bring it on to X. X, do you still think that City are I wouldn't say disrespected? People are quick to are speaking about Arsenal, speaking about Liverpool, but these are the guys that have won the league 4 times in a row. Do you think that, listen, you know what? Until someone else wins the league this season, City are still the favorites?
Yeah, most definitely they are still the favorites, bro. I remember what Rodri once said that no one is out there to beat them. Everyone wants to just try and get a point from Man City. So yeah, I think they are still the favorites. I mean, coming from that score to win 3-2 again, like I was holding thumbs that yes, finally, someone's gonna make them drop points. But yeah, at the end of the day, they came on top. So I think they still by far the favorites.
No, 100%. And I think, you know what, there's been question marks over Kovacic and his ability to take over from Rodri. But, just like Rodri, Kovacic coming up with 2 clutch goals there, for City. Really good strikes. And I think that's something that he definitely has in his locker. And I think a lot of City fans will be frustrated, the fact that he didn't shoot more against Arsenal when he had the opportunities to. Liam, just want to ask your opinion, bro. Looking at Fulham, looking at the chances that they had, bro. If you Marco Silva, if you are Drama Traore, are you there and just thinking to yourself, you know what, guys, we literally let one go? Um,
Yeah. I think
we,
especially
we,
with
we should have won that game.
yeah, I think with the chances that Traore missed, I think he should be that player that beats himself up, or he probably beat himself up, after that game because I think he had so many opportunities. I mean, there was that one-on-one that he had with the keeper. All he needed to do was push it to further to the right, and he's already beaten the City goalkeeper, but he kicked the ball straight into the keeper. So I think, yeah, Traore needed to do better there. We even saw Pep Guardiola coaching him at the end. You don't really see this. So I think, yeah, Traore should have won that game for Fulham. But yeah, man, that's football. You speak about Kovacic earlier on. I'm just impressed with him and just how he comes in, and it almost feels like they're not missing a Rodri. The way he was playing yesterday, he looked like Rodri yesterday. Um, you know, so for me, yeah, I was just impressed with Kovacic. And yeah, man, I just think City. When you spoke to X now, my opinion is City is the team to beat. I know Liverpool is top of the table, but we always see this. We always see one team, either Liverpool or Arsenal, the first half of the season leading the pack. But when it comes to when it matters is the second half of the season. And, we speak about this week in, week out, the depth that City has. You have a Liverpool and Arsenal, Chelsea sides, strong sides, but do they have the depth to carry on the whole season? I think City is the only team that has that.
No, 100%, bro. And we've obviously got another comment here from Joey that says City winning ugly wins you league titles, but they are going to struggle without Rodri in the midfield. And look, I think I have to agree. I think, guys, if you're looking at City this season, they've conceded a lot of goals. And yes, they have the ability to score goals. But looking at the Arsenal game, for example, if teams are able to defend properly against them and frustrate them and not give them many spaces in between. Look at Haaland, guys. Haaland over the past couple games, and I think this is my biggest issue with Haaland. Why I don't think you can ever call him a favorite for Ballon d'Or is that when nothing is getting created from him or for him, he has no effect on the game. He doesn't offer you much, and I think there are going to be games City will struggle. Rodri's ability. Rodri is like he's a one-man machine. And what I mean by that is that he's able to dictate the play, he's able to win the ball back, he's able to do so much for the City team, which they aren't able to replicate. And I think you know we might see City not necessarily struggle this season, but I do think that it won't be as straightforward for them to get as many victories as they did last season or as easily. I mean, again, on another day, Adama Traore has a hat trick, and we're talking about a 5-3 Fulham victory. It wasn't like these were half chances, these are proper one on ones. This guy had 3 1-on-1 chances and missed all three. So I think when you're looking at City, in my opinion, I think they're probably the most vulnerable they've ever been. That doesn't mean that I think they aren't going to win the league or they aren't favorites. I think they still are favorites, but I do think that they are more beatable than what they've been under Pep, in my opinion. And I've just seen enough cracks. And yes, it's still early in the season. I think nothing that we discussed in this podcast today is defining for the season. Maybe United, maybe, but I don't think what we speak about on game week 7 is necessarily defined for the rest of the season. But obviously, moving on to the last game of the weekend, and I thought I'd leave it this one for last because I want to actually ask, especially the Chelsea guys there at the bottom. There's been a lot of talk about my boy, Star Boy. I call him he's the bar setter. I mean, everyone that has a good winger, they throw my boy's name in the conversation, and I think, you know what, guys,
The bias
say
going
what
on
you
in
want.
this show.
I just think maybe we need to discuss probably one of the most consistent players in Europe, guys. Whether you think he's world class or not, the numbers don't lie. I'm obviously speaking about Arsenal's win against Leicester, and we saw Saka, and Danzi and I were speaking in the chat, and Saka just showed again, bro, the levels, bro. Like, you guys, he's not a player that is gonna give you 100 step overs, but is he gonna create chances every game? Yes, he's the highest in chance creation. He's the highest in assists. Only 2 from set pieces, 5 from open play. So that's 7 this season in 7 games. 2 goals. And I think, when it comes to his name, I think it's too easy to throw everyone else's name over his. Yeah, this one, Palmer, this one, that. This guys, come on, bruh. This is Saka. This is a big player, man. It's a big player we're talking about here. So I know most of you guys are putting City as your favorites, but Arsenal are in touching distance. Where I would like my team to be. It's 7 games in, unbeaten in all competitions. You know, if you look on another day, we probably should not have had 2 red cards against City and Brighton. Maybe pick up some extra points, but I'm not going to go into that. Obviously, I'm going to take it to Godwin. This is obviously a topic I know him and I had quite a discussion about. But obviously, looking at Arsenal, looking at Saka, bro, do you think that if Saka can continue this form and is going to need to continue this kind of form that is on for Arsenal to be successful this season?
Do I feel that he can continue this form? Oh, yes, I do. Um, However, I do want to say something that might be a little controversial. I think you guys have gotten slightly weaker. I was watching the game, and that win against Southampton was not convincing at all, bro. It was not a convincing win. And every time I seem to watch Arsenal this season, they win, but it's not as convincing as last season. So I do think you guys look a little bit weaker, in my opinion. But going back to your
There we
question,
have
I
it.
mean, Saka has been sensational this season. I can't lie. Against PSG, Southampton, the game that we were the 2 goals that he's got against Southampton this weekend. So yeah, no, I'll give it to him. But I think you guys need to up your game a little bit. You guys don't look as strong as last season, from what I've seen. Yes, the defense is strong,
No, no.
but I don't know what it is. But also just don't look that strong. But hey,
Look, I'm seeing Football Fiend 207 here saying no Odegaard, no party, but I mean, we haven't lost the game this season, and that's what my counter argument would be. And I'll say this: Arsenal haven't been at their best, nowhere near it, which for me is a good omen because it means if this is not our best and we are a point behind Liverpool, unbeaten, might be scary for some of you on this panel soon, eh? I might not hear from some of you niggas in a while. You know what I'm saying? Nah, but look, let me bring it over to Donzi. Donzi, we obviously had a conversation about Saka over the weekend, but another player that I think deserves a lot of respect is King Kai. You know, 7 goals in a row at the Emirates, equaling Robin van Persie's record, and obviously an ex-Chelsea boy. I think no one expected Havertz to turn it around like the way he has at the currently. And I think with credit is due where it is due. Donzi, do you think that Havertz can be a player that Arsenal can rely on throughout the season, or do you think this is just a purple patch and we potentially might see him just burn off later on in the season?
Bro, when we're talking about King Kai, right? Kai Havertz, right? There's a few, I watched him for a couple of years, at my club, did nothing major, Champions League winning goal, Listen, bro, this guy is going to give you the purplest of patches for like a month or two, and then it's gonna dip. I'm telling you, just watch,
Let them
bro.
wait. No, they must wait. Yeah, they must wait. They must
I'm
wait.
enjoyment. But
Wait. Just
I'm
wait.
telling you, you will see, bro. This guy.
Nah, I'm gonna
Did you
counter this.
did you see what he said in the presser about Chelsea and about winning the Champions League with Arsenal? Bro, this guy said that winning the Champions League with Chelsea.
I think it's taken out of context, bro.
Bro, he said winning the Champions League with Chelsea was good, but it would feel so much better. It would mean so much more to win it with Arsenal. Bro, that tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, but we've never won it, so obviously, bro. Come on. Listen. I think when it comes to Havertz, guys, and I'm gonna tell you a stat that's honestly the truth is that Haaland and Havertz have the same amount of goals in 2024, 19 each. Havertz has continued to score goals, and I know it pains you guys at Chelsea because you thought you Mason mounted me, but you didn't. It's looking like 65 million well spent. Obviously, Tain, bro. Obviously find out from you, bro. Obviously looking at Arsenal and obviously being currently in third position, a point behind Liverpool. Do you think that Arsenal just need to maintain this form for as long as they can throughout the season? And when it comes to maybe March, April, May, start to peak, and not maybe Arsenal doing the right thing and not peaking too early? Or do you think they might be third and might find themselves third for the rest of the season if they don't maybe beat the Liverpool or beat the Man City, or you know what I'm saying? Like, or do you think Arteta is being quite strategic in how he's attacking the league so far?
Well, I hope he's being strategic, bro. Because like, look, last season, if I'm not mistaken, dude, you guys just showed that you didn't have the legs to go compete against City. You know what I mean? And I would, dare I say, it would be nice to see someone else win the league other than City. And look, Arsenal, it would be nice for them to also win. But I also wanted to say, hey, Kai Havertz, man, hey, that guy is just doing so well. I hate that we sold him to you guys, honestly, man. Yo, and when Chelsea were busy doing all the signings, like the
Yes,
Timo Werner, the Chil, when they were making all the signings for the Chilwells and Werner, my most anticipated player was Kai Havertz, and then winning the Champions League for us was like just so nice. It was just beautiful, and then going to Arsenal and now you guys getting the best out of him, like it's not nice to see, but it's nice to see because I like him as a player. So yeah.
100%. X, I want to bring it over to you, bro. Obviously, obviously, X. I want to obviously bring it over to you, bro. Arsenal, like I said, currently in third. We're seeing guys like Saka, Havertz really performing, and there's been arguments made that Arsenal haven't really peaked yet. Do you think that Arsenal are still are closer to being favorites, and maybe more so than what Liverpool are? Or do you think City, Arsenal, Liverpool all have equal chance of winning the league this season? I think you unmute, bro. Hey, X, I think you unmute.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you, bro. Go for it.
All right. Yeah, gents, I think it's gonna be a close one up until right at the end. For the fact that Arsenal is winning games and they're not even yet on their peak, it's kind of scary for me. I think just imagine what they're gonna do in the second half of the season or towards that last quarter.
Tell them.
Yeah, these guys are cooking, bro. Yeah, I'm a bit jealous, but they are cooking. I don't wanna lie, they are cooking.
Liam, obviously, bro, let me bring you in. Obviously, before we get to the end of the show, bro, you said it, and I think you're sticking by it. You're saying Liverpool, City, top two. You're not really giving your first and second. But do you think that again, Arsenal, with the experience of the past couple of seasons, getting quite close, improving in the Champions League, that this team will get over the line in one competition this season? I'm talking maybe Champions League, and at minimum FA Cup. Do you think Arsenal come out this season with a trophy, or do you think It's gonna be another trophyless season for Arsenal and another so close but no cigar moment. Or this might be the season we see some silverware come to the Emirates.
Look, I think, and I stand by what I said. I think City will win the league. Liverpool will finish second, and I think Arsenal will finish third. But it will be very close between Liverpool and Arsenal. And just on the question, will they win something? I don't know. They've showed us last season. They shown us the season before that they've come so far, and then right at the end when it matters, they choke. Arsenal is starting to look like the Proteas. So I don't know, but when the gents were speaking earlier about Arsenal start to the season, I think you guys have been fantastic. Looking at from the City game, you guys have scored 16 goals, and in all competitions, which is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. And even before that, it wasn't bad. I mean, the draw against Atalanta was probably the worst performance, and the draw against Brighton. But you beat Tottenham, you beat Villa, you beat Wolves. Do you know what I mean? So I think the real test will be that game against Liverpool, which is coming up on the 27th. I think, to go back to that question, between Arsenal and Liverpool, it could go down to this game as early as it is in the season. I think it could be, down to that game. But
100%.
yes, I'd say maybe FA Cup.
100%. Look, I would take a FA Cup, not as necessarily as the cherry on top of the cake, but a trophy. I think. What's Danzi showing me there? The Liverpool game, eh? Yeah, listen, obviously, guys, we will be doing something quite special for the Liverpool game. I will announce it in the near future. I've got something dope planned for that. Just before we end, guys, I want to go through the panel quickly and just one by one, just give me who you think is gonna be the league champions and your player of the season. I'm gonna start with Liam. Champion and player of the season.
Champion Manchester City, definitely. Player of the season. Obviously Haaland is probably going to be top goal scorer, but it's going to become so boring if Haaland is always, player of the season. I think if Chelsea can perform, yes, Cole Palmer, I was going to say Cole Palmer. I think if Chelsea can perform the way they've been performing, and Cole Palmer, performs the way he's been performing, I think he'll be the player of the season.
100%. So we're looking at a back-to-back player of the season nominations and for Cole Palmer there from Liam predicted. And then we move over to X. X, obviously, like same question to you, bro. Who do you think will be the eventual champions and who do you think will be your player of the season come May 2025?
Yeah, I think City will still be the champions. And then for player of the season, yes, I have two. Between Saka
Sure.
and Cole Palmer. But for the fact that Cole Palmer played the way he played last season with that Chelsea team, and he's still like, you could count him on the numbers with that Chelsea team. Yes, it's a bit difficult. I'm gonna go for Saka for this one. I think Saka will maintain.
Exactly. And then obviously Danzi, bro, making your debut today. I'm also gonna hit you with the hard questions. Your player of the season and obviously your eventual champions for 2024-2025 season. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, my boy.
Okay.
Bro, I'm in all honesty, dog. Like, bro, he's the best player in the Premier League, bro. He's gonna win it. Like last day, he was robbed by Philip Foden because he won City the league title on the last day, bro. I think Liverpool might snatch it, bro. I don't know why. I just feel like Liverpool slot first season surprise. I don't know. Like people are saying Chelsea the dark horse, maybe Liverpool are the dark horses. There's no pressure on Liverpool, bro. This is the thing. Liverpool last season they had pressure on them to perform, bro, and they choked. This season there's no pressure, bro. Let's see how it goes. I think Liverpool will take it.
Yeah, but Dante, there's no pressure on Chelsea either to win the league.
I'm not gonna jinx anyone, bro. Please.
Okay, lekker. So now we got Donzi there who's gone for Liverpool to be his champions, and he said Mr. Cole Palmer to be the player of the season. Thane, moving over to you, buddy. Player of the season. Well, it's a eventual champion and then player of the season.
Oh, yeah, I say it, but City, bro, City. But it would be nice to see Arsenal. It would be nice to see Arsenal win the league. But I'm gonna have to go with City and player of the season. I gotta agree with Ixa. Bukayo Saka he's something else. But if Cole Palmer can just maintain his form and just keep putting up the numbers that he is, then Cole Palmer, 100%. But I can't pick between the two. I have to go with either Cole Palmer or Saka.
This nigga playing both
Okay, there we have it,
sides.
guys. You heard from Thane. Thane is going with the City champion.
Nah,
Thane-
dog, but
Thane is going with
bruh,
Thane
Bukayo
is going
Saka is brilliant, bro.
What's
He's
he
not,
support,
he's
nigga?
not on Cole
Tell
Palmer's
them, Thane. They
level.
don't want to hear it.
He's not fit enough to lace up Cole Palmer's boots, Bukayo Saka. He's a nobody compared to my star boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. My
Okay,
star
I
boy,
know.
Cole Palmer.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
listen
You
there.
know,
Listen
I'm
there.
gonna go with Palmer.
Listen,
Let's go, Palmer. Palmer.
I'm just gonna say it there. It tells you there. Starboy was never a thing until Saka. Now suddenly you guys wanna coin Starboy. No, guys, please, man.
My
Heavy
star
is
boy.
the head that wears the crown. It's heavy. That's heavy, man. It's heavy pressure. That you have to carry a club from the ashes. It's not easy, bro. No £1 billion spend here, dog.
Yo,
No money thrown at it. This is real quality.
Don't succumb to the pressure. You're on the chat. Don't succumb to it.
Yeah, just stay with
Nah,
Saka, bro. Stay with your choice.
bro. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'll give the credit where it's due. The boy is brilliant. You know what I mean? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, how many assists he's already got? Like, he had a couple assists and he scored a goal just in the last game. Bruh, the boy is good, and
That's 7
I
assists
can't
this
fight
season,
it.
7 games, guys.
Seven
That's it.
goals.
But you also
100%.
can't. But you also
Here we
can't
go.
overlook Cole Palmer.
No doubt. And I think that's what's going to be so interesting this season. I love this conversation, guys. This is what we want with our teams. You just United need to come to the party and then we can have some conversations about top players here. You know what I'm saying? Because if, for example, if Diallo or Garnacho, who have the potential to be at this level, 6 goals. Yeah, but how many? Okay. Don't get me wrong. No, don't get me wrong, guys. Palmer's quality. But his stat pads, man. His stat pads scores 4 goals in the game, 3 assists. That's a good game. It doesn't mean you're that great.
That's
Consistency. Saka
excellent.
7
That
assists,
is
7 games.
brilliant.
Assist every game. But anyways, let me move it over to Godwin. Godwin, obviously, bro. Before I obviously give my prediction, your eventual champions this season and your player of the season.
Yo, I think Eric Ten Hag is going to shock a lot of you guys. I think Man United will find a way to win the league this year. Can't lie, bro. Liam's going to... No, I'm trolling, guys. The league, yo. The league is hard, guys, because it's very tight this year. But I feel like you just have to give it to City. Player of the season, Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer for me. Cole Palmer should be Ballon d'Or, guys. And I don't want to hear anyone else say anything else. Okay, there's no one who had a better season last season than Cole Palmer, bro. Goals and assists, not Vinicius Jr., not Jude Bellingham. Erling Haaland because he scores goals, but as a footballer, there is no one better than Cole Palmer, and I would take that to the bank, bro. Cole Palmer Ballon d'Or next year, guys. Please forget player of the season, Ballon d'Or.
You say
Bro.
wait.
You
Are
got
you
it,
saying
Gio?
Cole Palmer over Vinny?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%, 100%.
Yeah. I would say the same.
Ah,
I would say
come
the same.
on,
Yeah, I would say
man.
the same. Same.
You add Real
Same.
Madrid.
Vinny, guys, Vinny. Not even dog. Vinny's not. He's not like for me. Dog Rodrigo's better than Vinicius. I would
Oh,
have
exactly.
Cole
I was just
Palmer
about to
over
say
Vinny
that.
any day.
Rodrigo is
That's
better
still
than...
playing in the Champions League, bro. Cole Palmer would have won the Ballon d'Or.
Bruh, Mudrik is better than Vinny Jr.
Come on, dog, come on.
Leave me
Jets.
Guys are trolling tonight. Listen. Let me give my prediction, guys. I'm going Arsenal winners, Saka player of the season. Telling you that now. That's what's happening. There we go. There we
So
go.
biased.
Got some
so
comments here.
biased.
From
Is this the
Joey.
part where we laugh at Shannon?
Listen, call me biased. You guys Listen, I'll have the last laugh, and if I don't, none of you come back on this podcast, so it's okay. No, I'm joking.
All the more reason to come back.
But we have some comments here. Aish, bro, Aish, no, but listen, guys, I think Arsenal, not because I'm also an Arsenal fan, but I think this season, bro, I think we've got the balance right. I think our squad, and a lot of people are not giving us credit for it. Our squad has depth, which people are not seeing it. If you're looking at, if I'm looking at my right wingers, I've got Saka, I've got Sterling. Those are two quality Premier League players. I've got Trossard and Martinelli on the left, and Jesus and Havertz up front. Jesus might not be in great form now, but the season is long. It's fine. I'm not too concerned yet.
But
Midfield, I've got Declan Rice, Partey, Marino, Jorginho.
apparently Sterling was dog shit over the weekend, bro.
And I think we've got. Nah, watch the game, bro. Trust. He wasn't
What was he good?
fantastic, but not dog shit, bro. Like, it's just people again, guys. The problem. It wasn't like Sterling out of this world, but he was okay, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's first start of the season.
Mm.
Again, it's still early, bro. We judged Havertz early last season, saying, "Oh, Havertz is looking like a flop," and this one is, and then the guy gets his confidence, feels comfortable, and then kicks on. So with Sterling, I don't doubt the quality, bro. There's a player there, guys. Sterling is won 4 league titles, multiple Carabao Cups, multiple FA Cups. He's a player that deserves respect. I just think that it will take him some time to find his feet at Arsenal. Just quickly on some comments here. Um, Joey was talking about peaking too early, and he says that he disagrees that because you want to win points early in the season, it relieves the pressure later on in the season. He says Kai is cooking at the moment. And then he's saying, yeah, Lamine Yamal for the Ballon d'Or. And I think it's very easy to say Lamine Yamal, in my opinion. But I think it's so much more difficult, and this is why I see the comment here also earlier from Joey saying that asking about Salah and the Ballon d'Or, and I said it, guys. Salah, for example, doesn't get the respect he deserves because doing it in the Premier League is so much more difficult than doing it La Liga. Premier
Yeah,
League,
but
you look at
what
how
is
many
Arsenal
teams you
winning?
have to compete with.
What is the Arsenal winning
What's
for
Arsenal
Saka?
going to win?
Yeah, but what is Saka winning for? I mean, what is Arsenal winning for Saka to be nominated for Ballon d'Or?
No, look, I think this comment he's talking about Salah, not Saka.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. So what I'm just saying is I think Salah seems to never be in the conversation for Ballon d'Or. Even though if you look at that guy's stats, guys, Salah's got some of the most insane stats in the Premier League, like ever. And he doesn't get spoken about in the same light. So I think, you know, in the Premier League, it's been a while since you've seen a Premier League winner of the Ballon d'Or. And in my opinion, I think it's time. You're looking at how many English teams have won the Champions League over the past couple of years. You've had Liverpool, you've had Chelsea, you've had City, but still no Ballon d'Or winner from there. And it's kind of weird. You're getting Vinny as the outright favorite, but I mean, if we're being honest, guys, Vinny had a good season, but Palmer and Saka had more goals and assists than him last season. It just happened that he won the Champions League and he won La Liga. No, yeah, we won La Liga. So
Yeah,
look,
but
I'm not saying the trophies don't
also
matter.
the team wins the Champions League, isn't it? And also, it seems
No,
like
true. Like Champions League is obviously going to
whoever
be a
votes for
huge
Ballon
helping
d'Or,
boost.
yeah, whoever
Yeah.
votes for the Ballon d'Or, they favor La Liga over the Premier League.
100%, 100%. So look, I think it's interesting, and I'm glad to hear that the difference in opinions here regarding who we all expect to win the title. We've got some majority is going for City. We've got Danzi going for Liverpool. I'm going for Arsenal. And then obviously our player of the season is quite a variety, but also still quite the same in terms of Cole Palmer there. But good people, we have come to that point in the show where we come to the end. I think today's probably been one of the most enjoyable podcasts we've had so far. I think the guys brought really good energy. I think opinions were good. I think the banter was on point, and I think yeah, if you like this show, guys, we will be having some more content coming to you throughout the international break. Maybe not as frequently as what we used to because there's no football to really talk about. But please note, I will be going live tomorrow evening on the Gunners Voice podcast at 8 p.m. Just speaking about the current form of Arsenal and just highlighting my star boy Saka and giving him his due flowers so far this season. As always, guys, if you enjoyed the podcast, please don't forget to subscribe. Your subscription does help a lot. It helps grow the channel. Thank you for everyone that's linked with us in the comment section. And yes, guys, as always, enjoy the international break. Hopefully, it goes by fast, quite quickly, and then we will be able to talk about some more Premier League football. So, for myself and my panel, guys, this is good night, gents. Shout out.